Hey guys, and welcome back. And in this part we're going to go ahead and I'll show you what we're going to do, and also I've worked ahead a little bit just so I know how we're going to tackle this piece right in here. So this is what we're going to be creating in the next couple of parts, which is basically the piece that connects the two eyes together. So we're going to go ahead and create that, and also these bits are not actually connected to this main mesh, which it should be, but we're not going to do it. We're just going to stick it together, but that's fine. It's still going to work how it should be in case we go ahead and rig this later on. And as you can tell, after we got this join up together, we can go ahead and start modeling in the neck. And also I just had a little bit of fun with this after I made it, just to see if it will work right. And as you can tell, basically this is how it's going to move. So there is this cylinder in here, and then these are the bits that join up the two eyes, and each eye got two of them, one at the front, one at the back. And then these pieces will basically rotate around that cylinder, and that's how his head going to be able to move. So he'll be able to tilt his head or his eyes, and also, as you can tell, because we split that piece earlier, he'll be able to move his eyebrows. So he should look pretty good later on once we've done him. So let's go ahead, and first we're going to go ahead and create this piece, which actually is fairly complicated to make, but it should be alright. So we're going to go ahead and I will open up the scene where we left off, which is this one, I think. Or not, I'll probably have saved it. Let me have a look and try to open this up again. There we go, this is where we left off. So obviously I just duplicated the eye over there, and we're going to go ahead and turn off our block, and I'm pretty sure this is where we left off. Yes, that's correct. So the first thing we're going to do is just make sure that all of these are added to this layer, just so we can go ahead and hide them. And then going to go into our front view and go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and create the shape. So you're going to build out of two parts. If I just go up my reference image again, and this is what I'm using. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this onto another screen. And we're going to go ahead and make this bottom piece first. So we're going to go ahead and create a cube, and just drag it out to about this size, and also just going to go ahead and give it a rough height for now. Now you're going to have to go ahead and adjust a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and grab these verts and move it about there. And now we're going to go ahead and select this edge. And there are many different ways to get this exact shape, but this is probably the easiest and quickest. So you're just going to go ahead and select them two edges on the side, only them two, and then you're going to go ahead and bevel that. So hit bevel, and then in the inputs we're going to go ahead and set the offset to about probably 0.8. And again I'm just going to turn down my sensitivity, and segments we're going to use about 6. So we now going to get that rough shaping, but obviously we're going to have to clean this up. So just going to go ahead and delete these two edges because we don't need them, and we're going to go ahead and clean this face up later on. So now that we got that in, we're going to go ahead and actually we're going to make this a little bit thicker. So just going to go ahead and select these verts on the back and just drag them back roughly about here, and then go back into my perspective mode, select this face and hit extrude, and then just scale it in uniformly like somewhere about, well actually we'll probably do a little bit more, somewhere about there. We're going to go ahead, hit extrude again and drag this face out. Probably about that thick. Now I'm just going to go ahead, hit the extrude again and scale it in just so we get the supporting edge that will hold that edge, and we're going to have to go and do a lot of cleaning up in a minute. So the first thing we're going to do now that we've got the basic shaping is go ahead and connect these edges so we get quads. So I'm just going to use my interactive split tool and make sure my magnet is on 0.5, so I'll have an easier job to connect these. So we're going to go ahead and connect these up. And that one. And this one as well. Okay, so now we've got quads in here. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is a 5-sided one. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, it's actually a quad, so it's fine. And just to make sure it is, we're going to select the object and go to clean up. Again, select matching polygons, faces with more than 4 sides, and hit that. And obviously the back face is still got more than 5 sides, so you're going to go ahead and clean that up as well. I'm just going to go ahead and select this face and extrude it in, so we'll hold that edge. And then again we're going to do the same thing, just select our interactive split tool, and we're going to go ahead and just join these edges up. So this will be all quads as well. Make sure you get it on the vertex. So we're going to go ahead and join these two up as well. So now it's all quads. And now we're going to have to go ahead and edge loop, add the edge loop, so it will obviously hold its shape, okay? And it's not going to be as easy as you think. So we're going to go ahead and first add these ones in. So use your insert edge loop tool, and we're going to add one in here, here, one in there, there, and here. And we're also obviously going to have to add them on the bottom here. So now those will hold their shape. So if you just go into object mode and hit smooth, as you can tell, these edges hold their shape nicely, so that's all good. But we're going to have to make sure that this edge will hold its shape as well, okay? So we're going to have to go ahead and make some cuts and so on to make sure that this is going to work out well. We probably might be able to get away if we just go ahead and insert an edge loop here, so that will be fine, as you can tell. But if you have a look and we insert an edge loop in here, it goes all the way down, so we're going to have to go ahead and clean that up. So I'm just going to do the same thing on this edge, and now if you have a look and smooth it, as you can tell, it holds its shape all nice and smooth, and that's all good. But if you come down here to the bottom, as you can tell, because we got 2 edge loops going around in here, it will hold this edge as well. So we're going to go ahead and do some cleaning up here. So we're going to go ahead and come down here and use our target weld tool, which is a merge vertex tool. And we're going to go ahead and merge some of these points together. So I'm going to go ahead and merge this one to this one, this one to that one to that one, that one to that one. Yes, we will make some triangles, but I think we're going to make 2 triangles, but that's okay. So I'm just merging all these points together. So just going to come down here to the bottom, merge these 2. And also on the back here, and we're going to have to do some more cleaning up, but that's fine. So again, I'm now doing it on the other side, so just merging these 2 points together to to get rid of that edge loop on the bottom. So there we go, merge that and that. These two and those two, and these are the last two, I think. So now if you go ahead and smooth it, as you can tell, it sorted that problem out. And now we're gonna have to, we might come up here and have a look if our edge flow is correct. Just gonna go ahead and select it and go to mesh and hit clean up and click apply, and there are no 5-sided faces, so that's all good. Just gonna make sure that we don't have any unnecessary triangles going on. And let me just have a look in here, and that looks okay. And that looks pretty good too. So we're gonna go ahead and hit smooth one more time and make sure that everything is looking good. And it is looking pretty good, and especially around here, you're gonna make sure that there are no artifacts whatsoever, because as you can tell, I think actually in here you do have a triangle, so when we smooth it, you're gonna make sure that there are no issues with it whatsoever, and there isn't any. So that's all good. We got this piece created, and now we're just gonna go ahead and duplicate this, and we're gonna go ahead and rotate this 180, and you're gonna go ahead and move it up, and they're not gonna be joined together, so there will be a little bit of a gap going on. So I'm just gonna zoom in and drag this down just so there's a tiny bit of a gap. Okay, like so. And now we can go ahead and make the next piece that we need, which is basically just another piece that looks probably exactly the same as this. So we might just cheat it and duplicate things about. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna steal the faces of this one, or even just one. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and select this top piece, just go into our side view, select everything, and then deselect the back faces, so we only have those selected, and then go up to edit mesh, which should be here as well because I tear that panel off, and go to duplicate face. Okay, and now that will be inside here, so I'm just going to select both of them, hit Shift P to degroup, and then go to edit, delete all by type. If I select this, if I select everything and go to edit, delete all by type history, and as you can tell, we got rid of that node now. So now we got this face, and basically we're going to go ahead and drag this out a tad, and we're going to go ahead and duplicate this, I think. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and duplicate, and we're going to go ahead and mirror it as well. So if you go to mesh, mirror geometry, and it's going to be -y, so hit mirror, and we might gonna do this after we extrude it. If you come into poly mirror and just turn down the merge threshold to 0.05, or probably even lower, actually that might be okay. Just gonna go ahead and yeah, it didn't make, well, I think it did do the job, but I think we're gonna go ahead and undo this. And first we're just going to go ahead and extrude this. So select the object and then hit extrude, and just drag it out to give it some thickness, like so. And I think we're going to go ahead, oh no, it's fine. Just going to go ahead and insert the edge loops that we need before we mirror. So we're going to need one there, and we're also going to need one on the back. And that might be an issue there to mirror it over, but we're going to go ahead and try anyway. So if I smooth it, it looks all good, and then we're going to go ahead again and mesh mirror geometry and just turn down the merge threshold to 0.05 or maybe even lower, 0.03, 0.01. And we got all this geometry in here that we're gonna have to merge together, unless we can set the merge threshold so it will be fine. 0.02, and that's too much. 0.015. Okay, we're just going to go with 0.01, and then we're just going to have to go ahead and merge these points ourselves, so it shouldn't be too complicated. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick my merge vertex tool. There we go. And let me just have a look on here. This might even be still too much to merge. Best we can. Just try to figure out what would be the best way to do this. Okay, I know what we're going to do. We're going to do, sorry about this, we're going to go ahead and undo all this again. And we're going to go ahead and delete these bottom faces, just to make our life easier when we mirror it over. So I'm just going to go into my side view, select these, deselect those, and hit delete. And now if you go ahead and mirror it over now, also we forgot to delete the bottom face as well, which might have been our issue. So now that we got them bottom faces deleted, I'm just going to go ahead and go into my side view and make sure that these bottom verts line up. I'm going to select those and hit my scale tool and drag it down until they line up. Okay, so that's looking good now. This is going to work. I'm going to go ahead and do the mirror geometry now. So -y again, hit mirror. And then again, if we come into our polymirror input and change the mesh threshold to 0.01, that should do the trick pretty good. I think we forgot to delete some faces. Let me just have a look around here. There we go, there's a face. Oh no, there isn't. I don't know where that face came from then. Just going to go ahead and do that one more time. Mesh mirror geometry. Go into my inputs, set to 0.05. There we go, that's looking good. It's all one piece, it merged it together perfectly, so 0.05 will work. And now if I go ahead and go to edit, delete all by type history, we should be able to delete this edge that we don't need anymore. And no, we can't, but that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and smooth this, see how it's looking, and it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to have to, I think we're going to have to scale this up. It seems like to me, if I just go ahead and modify center pivot and scale this up and drag it onto the back of this. I think we're going to scale this down instead, even though my yeah, we're going to go ahead and scale this down like so. So it sits in there like that. And then we're going to go ahead and select these side verts in my side view, and I'm just going to go ahead and drag it back just a tad to make it a little bit bigger, like so. And now that's looking pretty good, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn the head on again, and we're going to go ahead and select all of these and group them together and modify center pivot. We're going to go ahead and just move this to roughly where it's going to be sitting, and we're going to make this smaller because I had this issue when I was making mine, that even though on the reference it looked quite big, it didn't really work in real life. So we're just going to go ahead and make this smaller, probably about that big, and that should look pretty good. So I'm just going to my front view again and make sure that they line up okay. I'm going to select the head, and I'm just going to go ahead and center pivot again and just smooth it out just a tiny bit. Even though it doesn't line up with the reference, it's fine. We're just using that as a reference, we're not copying it off it exactly. So there we go, that's looking pretty good now. And then next part, we're going to go ahead and create the cylinder and create the rest of the pieces and bobs. Okay.